Introduce you to the greatest late night combat sports show bar none. You are now in the Beatdown.
You wanna get beat down?
Let us now introduce you to your host, the Badger, and
Ladies and gentlemen, it's 11 p.m. on the East Coast. And as you know, you're now in the Beatdown. And we look forward to this. It's Monday night. So, when Monday night shows up, it's on and popping. And we're going to bring it to you Monday. We're going to bring it to you Tuesday. And we're going to bring it to you Thursday at the same time. What's going on, Badger?
What's going on, my brother? I can't call it, man. Just I guess it's slow motion today, man. But I guess my evening's about to get better real quick with the show, man. I'm excited.
It sure is. I don't want to lose this. We got a special guest for y'all tonight. But I just saw Chuck Liddell call out Mike Tyson.
Hey, man, these old guys got to chill. Like, we going to listen, as people get on this journey with us with the Fighters Share, they're going to find out what our mission is and how we want to do things. And there's a rhyme and reason behind how and why we do things. This is one of these damn reasons, man. These old dudes need to sit their ass down, bro. Chuck Liddell. First of all, why is everybody trying to get Mike to fight? I know you jealous because he still got the muscle memory. I know you jealous because he's shedding weight and he in his early 30s. But y'all got to chill, man. Let Mike be great, man.
Listen, what I don't need you to do is ruin a possible interview we may get down the road.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. No problem.
Without further ado, hey, Fighters Share Nation, for those of you who did not see this man in the ring, we're going to bring on, he calls himself the Cannon, but I'm going to say the incomparable Mr. Brandon Adams. Welcome to the Fighters Share Beatdown show, man. We appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. Man. I appreciate it.
My partner here is a big fan of yours. And look, you can't see it because he's dark, but he's blushing.
You got to chill, bro. You really got to chill right now, man. This is not how we conduct ourselves on our man. This is not how we do this. But yeah, bro, man, listen, champ, I'm excited to have you on the show. When we were talking about the Charlos on one of our previous episodes, I thought about you because the last time the world saw you was against Jamal Charlo in Houston, Texas. And I, my friend, was lucky enough to have a front row seat to that fight, man, because I was there on behalf of my little brother. So it was good watching you fight, man. And listen, if there's what you would call a moral victory, because I know, you're a competitor and you want to be the best, so you got to beat the best. But you put on a show of yourself, man, because people were expecting Brandon Adams, polished boxer, winning a contender. They expect you to come in there and get washed, bro.
Yeah, I know.
So for you to come out there and perform the way you did, man, I just want to give you kudos for that, bro.
You fought your behind off, bro.
Appreciate that. Most definitely. I appreciate it. Being in there fighting him, one of the top fighters in the world, it was exciting. It was challenging. That night I didn't win, but you couldn't tell me, if we was to fight tomorrow, that he could do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like the training, everything I've went through, everything I've gone through up to this point, it pushed me and it kind of catapulted me towards that opportunity. And I showcased a little bit of who I am and what I'm capable of fighting one of the top fighters in the world.
Most definitely. So how did you feel going into that fight? I know that's a strange question, but you're going into his hometown. We've heard some stories about people fighting in his hometown. How did you feel about that fight, going into his hometown and facing him head up?
I heard stories about, how they hackle people and how things wind up not turning out well for the opponent, the guy that they're gonna fight. But that wasn't the case for me. Didn't nobody disrespect me on that level. Even Jamal, there were no trash talk between he and I. It was a lot of respect. A lot of respect. If anything, neither one of us really ever said anything out of line. But if it was anybody kind of pushing it, it would have been me more so. I was telling him, but I would never say it in front of the mic or in front of press. I would just say it to where it was just me and him, and I'd be like, "Yo, man, you in for a fight. Just like I know I'm in for a fight. May the best man win." But it was never anything disrespectful. His team, the people that that scream with him, and they got mad love for him, like his twin brother. And they was all screaming and caring about how, to some degree, I expected. But him as a fighter, it was a lot of respect in there, and outside of the ring as well. So I didn't get that vibe from him, and they know where I come from, just like how I know where they come from. So at the same time, I felt like neither one of us wanted to push that envelope. We both, what I'm saying, like I'm from LA, I'm from, what I'm saying, some of the worst parts in LA. It's like, what I'm saying, he's from Houston and the area wherever he was from. I'm sure it was tough, what I'm saying, humbling beginnings. So, I felt like without me having to say and without him having to say, it was respect.
Exactly. As they say, what's understood don't need to be explained, right?
Hmm.
But I'm gonna segue off that particular point, kind of in line, but a little bit off. One thing I noticed about you, brother, and this is even when I saw you represent yourself leading up to the fight. There's a certain level of decorum or professionalism that you seem to exude almost all the time. The response always seem to be somewhat tactical, can be a little bit coy, but always on point, right? You're
Yeah,
never really retreating or conceding, you're just showing respect. And
right.
I notice when you do that to people and they perceive that as being genuine, they kind of find it hard to find a reason to, I guess, not like you. And I think that's the kind of effect you had on Charlo because they've always been the guys that like to be the antagonist, so to speak. I'm gonna kind of goad my guy, a little bit to get him to see, if I get a
Hmm.
reaction. But with you, it was almost like you can see he wanted to say something that was like, all right, man,
Right.
whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So is that something that you get out a lot?
Yeah, for the most part, all of my fights. The only person that came close to having an issue with what I was doing, how I carried myself was, but I don't even think it was like that really. It was Daniel Edward, excuse me, the Haitian sensation. When we were fighting, we were facing off, and I was smiling because like for me, I'm happy. I've made it to this point. Just make weight, we good. Everything else, it's gonna take care of itself in the ring. And he was telling me, he's like, stop smiling, man. Like he was worried too much. Stop smiling, man. We about to fight. I hope you're serious. I hope you take it serious. And I told him, I was like, yeah, this is serious. You a man like I'm a man. I'm not about to come up in here and just because I'm smiling today, I'm gonna smile when we fight. It's just part of who I am. Uh, Another fighter who was sort of similar like that was Alex Perez. You know what I'm saying? He was like, and I love his brother for this, man, because when we were facing off, I was smiling, and I know they were saying like whoever win this fight in particular would be the one to win the 2015 Boxino tournament because supposedly he was that good and I was that good. So when we were facing off, he was like he wouldn't smile and I was smiling, and then he was like, and one of his dudes like, he think this a game, and then he said, nah, he don't think this a game. He know this is real. He know what's up. You know what I'm saying? He don't know nothing about Jersey, but he gonna find out. And then I was like, oh, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? I guess you're right. You know what I'm saying? I am gonna find out. And then on the way, right before we walked away, that's just like, cause you're gonna find out a little bit about who I am and where I come from too, and that was it. You know what I'm saying? It was like, but again, it was never not a fighter who ever disrespected me, or like tried to shut down who I am. And you know, good luck trying to do that. I don't think nobody could really kind of take that away from me. That is who I am. So it's gonna be real hard for them, unless they're disrespecting not so much as me, because I can kind of like laugh at stuff. I laugh at a lot of stuff, but like if you trying to disrespect my family or something, that have yet to be seen or saw or heard of. So I don't know how that's going. What I'm saying, turn out.
Now, champ, I respect that. I see out in California, the one of the few states that really took COVID seriously early. Um, have you been able to do any training or anything during this time, or has it all been like just on your own running and stuff like that?
Yeah, man. So I've been blessed, dude. One of my friends, he owns the gym that I go train at, Steve Redardi, Elite Pro Boxing. He gave me the key to the gym like 2 years back. So I go to the gym, you know what I'm saying? As long as I lock it up on when I'm finished, you know what I'm saying? It's all love. So I go in there and I train. My trainer, Dub Hundy, he's 80. So I don't want to take the chance of getting him sick. So I go and train by myself, by my lonesome. You know what I'm saying? I just got my speaker. I go up in there, you know what I'm saying? Cut some tunes on and I get to work. And I get to work and, because I know he's not in there. I got the gym to myself. I try not, to cut any corners because I know he's not there. I don't have nobody actually, focusing and watching everything I do. So I got to mentally, you know what I'm saying, jot things down and try to make sure that I'm tuning up.
That's what's up.
Uh, Interesting, champ. We're gonna circle back to that too. I do want to talk about what was it like fighting the King of LA's son in that contender series, Shane Mosley Jr. It had to be interesting because you're a hometown kid. So is he. So can you talk a little bit about the splits in the fans and who was saying what? Because that had to be a big point in life because they were really building him up. They were looking for him to really kind of transition, do some big things.
Yeah.
And here you are, client, the underdog star. I mean, you got your background, but again, you find yourself kind of expected to not really perform.
Right.
So give us a little insight on that.
Yeah, so me fighting Shane Mosley, man, it all started back in the beginning, like the tryouts. We seen a lot of talented fighters. It was about like I want to say maybe 70, close to 80 professional fighters up in there, and there was a lot of little fighters that everybody was kind of worried of each other too. And I came in there. I came in the room when we were all signing, to sign up and to take tests for the tournament. And I seen Shane, and I was like, "Yo, Shane!" And Shane's actually the person I went to go sit by because me and him know each other. We knew of each other. We kind of when Shane pretty much started picking up boxing, we met each other when we were young. So like around, I'm not gonna say young like that, but he was probably like 17 and I was like 19. But this is around the time I just started boxing anyway. And this was the time that he was like getting ready to start training himself to start boxing. So when we met each other, like we felt at home because we used to spar and stuff at Maywood Boxing Gym in East LA. So we go and I go and sit by him. But before I sit by him, I start running past a lot of fighters in which I knew. And I just got to put this out there. I seen John Thompson, the guy who beat me at the 2015. And I said, and I looked at him, I was messing with him. I was like, hey, check this out. We got to worry about me making weight real fast for this fight. And so then I nudged at him. And then he's like, yeah, whatever, Brandon, keep walking. Bye. So like we was messing around. Everybody was watching. And everybody was like, oh, they got history. So then I walked over there. I said, what's up to everybody that I knew. But, because I was closest with Shane, I walked over there and sat down with Shane. Shane didn't have nobody sitting by him, too. So I went over there like, yo, what's up, bro? I didn't know you were going to be a part of this. He was like, well, I still don't know. Up to this day, we don't know who's chose. These are just the tryouts. And I was like, bruh, you Shane's son. You going to make it. Stop playing. So then I nudged you. We was laughing at this, man. But I noticed everybody, when he seen me sit by him, I sat and I looked around and I saw everybody was like, we getting it. Like, I seen it in their face. Like, they wanted to fight. Everybody wanted to fight Shane because they wanted that recognition. And me being, tight with Shane, me being close with Shane, I kind of like adopted, the brotherhood between us. I was like, well, I'm saying, if you want to see Shane, you got to see me. And that's kind of like the mentality I had, but kind of like the mentality I had growing up. You know what I'm saying? If I rock with you, if me and you are tight, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got to worry about nothing because I got your back. So that was kind of the mentality we had before the show. And then, during the show, too. That's why me and Nazim got into it. because I'm like, I got mad love and respect for Pops. Shane Senior showed me a lot. He showed me a lot. He spent time he didn't have to. He gave me some knowledge, and he allowed me and his son to spar, train, and work out together. So now it's all coming full circle when we get into the contender. So and I know nobody thought he was gonna make it. But then again, I was the guy who didn't fight for 3 years. So everybody, secretly was like, "Well, look, man, we know he in shape, but he haven't fought for 3 years, so he's gonna have to get rid of all that ring rust. He ain't gonna have time to do that because we're gonna jump on him." So you had a guy who they felt wasn't prepared and ready to fight, Shane Mosley. He just got his dad's name supposedly, and then they got a guy who seemed like he was all right, seemed kind of good, but he had 3 years off. You know, and then we wind up both making it in the finale. So now here we are. We about to fight each other in the finale. Uh, the crowd is split. I felt like it was more of my people in there. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people who knew Shane, a
Right.
lot of people who knew Shane, they knew me too. And I'm somewhat of a likable guy, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like, yeah, they was rooting for Shane, but they wanted to see me do well. I mean, they didn't want to see either one of us hurt. So it was good. It was good. It was good. It was dope. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Me and him fighting. You could hear the crowd screaming in the beginning of the first 2 rounds. Uh, Mosley Adams, and I felt like around the fourth or fifth round, that like all I kept hearing was Adams. And so I appreciate it.
I'm interested to know if Shane Senior ever said anything to you about that fight, or was that just between you and the son?
Yeah, no, I kind of walked up to Shane and I initiated it. I was like, "Hey, man, I appreciate it." He was like, "Hey, man, it's the game, baby, it's the game." And who better to beat? He was like, and he said, "Who better to fight my son? Who better to beat my son than you?" And at the moment, I didn't know how to take that, but later on, I thought about it because I didn't know where Shane was coming from when he said that. So I just, I appreciated that. It was dope. I respect that.
So I got another question for you, champ. So you talked about the guy that got you into boxing, your trainer, Dub. You said he's 80 years old.
Yeah, he's 80.
Just give us a little bit of the game that you must soak up from him. But how about this? Not directly about boxing, about life. Because when you've lived 80 years and you're still active and able to train somebody, you done seen a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So can you share one of those nuggets that he may have given you that you can always keep?
Yeah, well, Dub is from the South. So Dub used to always tell me, man, and Dub's a Jehovah's Witness too. So his train of thought and how he processed things is totally different. And I could never think that I could relate to half the stuff that he went through. So with that being said, he just always told me one thing that he told me to this day that stands out is he always told me, man, look, dude, I don't know everything. I've been involved in boxing since I was 12, and I don't know everything. If one man tells you he knows everything, get away from him. And he was always open to me learning from other trainers. And he was like, "Well, Brennan, I never thought that there was no cap on your skills. So why should I be the one to cap it? Go learn from whoever you can." And you know, uh, that was big to me. That is big to me. And I appreciate that because ain't no telling what my trainer taught me to this day right now without that.
That's big because he seems like a man who's absent ego in his work.
Yeah. He
And
actually the guy who they made the movie off of the $1 Million Baby. That Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman, they played as two guys, but that's actually one man. That's Dub Honey.
wow,
That's actually Dub Honey. They played as two guys, but it's one trainer. That's Dub Honey. Go
wow,
look it up, man. They made that book is I mean the book, everything. That's about
Bro, they lied to us, bro.
Dub.
I
Yeah,
feel slighted, bro. Are you serious? Bro, it's only two movies ever made me cry. Lion King and Forrest Gump. $1 Million Baby, bro, almost got me.
yeah,
That almost, I ain't gonna lie, bro. That hurt. That hurt a little different. And that they lied to me, bro.
bro. It was me. It was Forrest Gump, and what was the other one?
Lion
Lion
King.
King. But
Oh,
you, you, you know,
I thought you cried at Boys in the Hood and NWA's movie.
Man, Ricky knew what time it was, man.
Yeah,
They shouldn't even left the crib. They already knew what was gonna happen, man.
Ricky.
I know, right? So, Champ, they got you listed at 5'9". Okay, I've seen you. That might be accurate.
5'8".
Okay, there we go. He's a man of his word. Fighting
5'8".
at 160. Have you ever thought about going down a class, Champ?
Honestly, yeah, that's where I was at. But the 3 year layoff, where nobody's trying to give me new opportunities. They were the contender reached out to me, asked me, if I was interested, and I turned it down a few times. I know a lot of people probably know this story, but I turned it down a couple of times because, I wasn't interested in boxing because the people I was tied in with, I was like, man, I'm I don't want them to eat off my plate. They ain't putting nothing on the plate. You know what I'm saying? So that was my mindset, and that's how I felt about it. And then my wife was like, "Yo, you need to go do this. You need to go do it. This is your dream. This is your passion." So I just was like, "All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go do it." Sure enough, I go join, and it's at 160. Yeah, I want to fight at 154. I want to even try to push myself to the limits and go down to 147. But at that time, it was just all about opportunity, really, and the opportunity was for me to fight at 160. So I had to be ready for 160. So then after the contender, I was thrown to fight, or they offered me to fight Triple G, and then like 3 days later, I get in the mail, I'm saying, Jamal, and we were supposed to weigh options, and I'm looking at fighting, Triple G or Jamal. The options is Triple G. His name. He's the icon. He's in today, boxing. I don't know what his legacy would be afterwards, but right now Triple G is Triple G, and me and him we've sparred together. We got history, so I know what Triple G is, and I understand what he stands for in boxing. So beating him would be a hell of a feat. And then fighting Jamal at this time, it wasn't for the world title. It was for the belt that he had at the time, which was basically like the silver belt.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, the thing that made me choose to go with Jamal wasn't so much the money. Like I heard somebody say that, like, "Yo, is that why you did it for the bread? For the bread?" I was like, "Nah, man, because Triple G's got a hell of a name. You beat Triple G, these fights gonna come anyway. It doesn't matter. They're gonna come anyway. They're gonna line up." And plus, me being, the not so popular guy, they were bound to come. But it was the fact that the opportunity to fight Triple G was at 166, and that's way too big. I'm already taking a hell of a chance fighting at 160. So I'm saying, why would I do myself a disservice of fighting at 166? So I wasn't interested in that. So then I just like, well, basically the next option is for Charlo. We got to figure out a nice way of saying no thank you so it can come back around.
Right.
But I'm gonna go ahead and go with Jamal.
Got you. Now, what another thing I want you to talk about. I want you to give a little bit of in context to this. We talk about you being the underdog. Well, there's a reason, right? You're usually the B-side guy. Now, I've heard things, I've witnessed things. I know you've actually had to endure things. Can you speak to the business of being that other guy, the opponent, the guy that's brought in to lose? Can you talk about some of the things that happened to those fighters, and even to take some quotes from you? I had no one to look out for me, so I lost interest. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, basically, man, it's important, what I'm saying, to have loved ones around you, surrounding you, but also people who kind of understand the sport. When I got into the sport, I was the first in my kind. Nobody knew nothing about anything. I wasn't even connected with Dub at this moment. And so I was always trying to look and create a path for myself. So that was one of the biggest things is trying to make sure that I was on the right path. And in the middle of me trying to figure out this path, again, you got to remember Dub is 80 years old and he's from the South. So back when he was coming up, boxing was different. You know what I'm saying? The business side of it and everything, it it was a certain quo, and there was a lot going on that even to this day that he thought was fair, even though, looking back at it now, I look at it and be like, well, not that bad, actually wasn't. And then once I explained it to him, he's like, you know what, you're right. But I didn't even look at it like that. All I know is back when I was coming up, you want to fight and you want to make money, and you gotta do certain things that you don't want to do. You gotta get with people that you don't want to get with, and so and I understood that eventually. But at this time, while I'm going through it, and he's trying his best because to get me connected with good people. While he's trying to connect me with good people, these are certain other few people who are reaching out to me, and they just like me. They trying to survive in a sport that they don't have knowledge in, and that's kind of what happened with me. Is I got tied up with people who either they felt the sport didn't do them any justice, so then they became impatient, and they became what I'm saying uh, upset with a bad taste in their mouth, and or they just didn't have experience in the game. So them the kind of people that I was tied in with. So I always had to fight my way out of this situation. I had to get in the ring and I had to perform, because if I didn't get in the ring and perform, then there was gonna be a possibility, I'm saying, that you wouldn't see me for 3 years.
Wow.
Ah,
So how can I package that nicely? So this wasn't that long ago. So do you think this still happens now? And if it does, do these outcomes greatly affect the process or the growth of these fighters going forward?
I believe they do. I believe this process, when it doesn't go the right way, when they don't seize the moments and take opportunities, it definitely messes with the fighter mentally. Physically, not so much. I'm not too sure because, like I said, I had the 3 year layoff, and everybody was expecting for me to be this way, and I turned out that way. You know, no, I didn't get the victory. I didn't win, but the performance that I put on was a hell of a performance. Everybody's like, "Golly, what's up? What happened? Like, we wasn't expecting for you, little old you." Yeah, I'm saying, against Charlo, when Charlo's back was turned, you couldn't see me no more. It was almost like Mike Tyson punch out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For him, I'm saying, to land some of his best punches on me, and you still see me right there looking like I'm trying to come forward, because I stuck to the game plan, and uh, for me, I know, depending on my performance is whether or not, these people get to see me again. So that's, without me thinking about anything, yeah, I'm saying, at the same time, it's always in the back of my mind. Yeah, I'm saying. So if I do go out, I'm gonna go out with a bang. So it's all of these things that's happening, that's taking place at this particular moment. But and for me to be able to explain it to you now, since it's all done, it's in the past, it's behind me. Yeah, I feel good to be able to say, like, yo, I'm saying, no, the fight didn't go my way, but I put on a hell of a performance. I'm looking forward to. I hit him up. I reached out to him on Instagram, and he reached back out and talked to me. And I told him, like, yo, I wish you and your family well, especially through these crazy times. But I'm not asking for no handout. I'm not asking for a rematch. I'm gonna work my way back up to it. I'm telling you right now, I can't wait to see you in the ring again, because I'm going to do my part to get back up there, to get right there. You know what I'm saying? I just hope you acknowledge it when time comes. And he just was like, yo, it takes a real man to reach out and say what you just said. I appreciate that. Meeting you changed, I felt like meeting you. You were one of the better people in my life, and you helped change it. And we growing, me and my family, we getting closer with God. And that threw me off because I wasn't expecting that. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the heck out of that. Like I said, man, like a lot of stuff that I do, if I reach out to somebody, if I talk to somebody, I kind of like do it in private. I do it, what I'm saying, where it's just me, and, him and I. That way, ain't no ego, ain't no pride. It's just me and him. You know what I'm saying? And I come with the mindset, of me being as open as I can be. That way, you don't take it no way, but directly of what I'm saying. So, and he received it, and he received it well. So that was dope. That was dope in itself.
awesome. Hey, I'm gonna ask this question because I'm listening to you. Saw that, looking back at the Charlo fight, and I know you say you knew this man ahead of time. What happened with the John Thompson fight?
So when I was fighting John Thompson, there was a lot of stuff that was taking place right before he and I fought. Bad management. The manager, he was pissed off at me, man, because I started to kind of ask him like, "Yo, man, so what's your job as a manager? What do what's your service is supposed to be towards me? Because like you keep collecting the check, but I don't see like you're not doing anything." And this is one of those moments where the promoter assigned me a manager. The promoter and manager are friends. So now, what I'm saying, when I question him this, and he's like, go talk to Bobby about it. Bobby's the promoter. I reach out to Bobby, like, hey, man, me and James is not, seeing eye to eye. What could we do? And Bobby like, well, shit, man, deal with it. Y'all need to figure that out. And, that kind of, that pissed me off. I was a lot younger, too. So I'm like, are you going to tell me to handle it? This is your business. You know what I'm saying? So I was upset about it. So all I did was I just called the California State Commission and saw what we can do about it. And in the midst of that, what wound up happening was we were basically we had an opportunity to wind up going to court to make sure we can separate the proper way. Turns out there's a lot of illegal stuff that was going on. A lot of illegal stuff, like basically, man, him not ever being approved of being my manager. California State Commission never gave him. They never accepted him being my manager, but I didn't know that because they sent the information to him. I didn't know that, so the promoter at the time was like, "Look, Brandon, you're not fighting on that card until you get all this stuff straight with James." So I did. I trained. I was training, but I didn't train like I was preparing for a fight. So I didn't have to make weight no more because the promoter told me I wasn't fighting anymore. I want to say 3 days before the weigh-in. Wasn't even 3 days before the weigh-in. It was 2 days before the weigh-in. I get a call from Banner Promotions, and they calling me, acting as if they're excited. They're excited about me fighting on the finale in my hometown, Corona, ESPN. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was told I wouldn't fight on this card. You're like, hey, put it this way, Brandon. If you're not fighting on this card, ESPN doesn't, if we don't give them a main event, then, basically he told me that ESPN was going to be coming and try to sue them and all this whatnot. And if they do that, then they're going to turn it up on me and they're going to sue me. And then all that.
And I got to come down on you.
Yo, so I'm a kid from Watts. Listen to him say all this stuff, sue, and I'm saying, I don't want to be no parts of that. I don't have no money. What you going? Yeah, I'm saying that. So I told them, don't worry about it. I'm gonna go make weight. I'm gonna go see the fight doctor. I went to go see the fight doctor, and straight from going to go see the fight doctor, I did all the little tests I needed to do, gave blood, and I went to start to go work out. Put a sauna suit on, start busting my ass, and tried to make this weight. It was over 12 pounds that I wound up losing. I lost it, but ultimately I lost the fight because of that. I was weak. I went to the fight and I was like I remember John. He went down. I threw a right hand to his chest or shoulder. He went down to the ground. Everybody was like, "Oh man, easy work." But on the inside, I walked towards the corner and I was telling myself, just keep composure. I was so lightheaded. I felt terrible. I was overheating. I felt lightheaded. I was a danger to myself at that moment, and I didn't want to admit it. So there was a whole lot going on right there at that moment. I'm grateful that I got out unscathed. Just a loss on my record, but
that could have ended way worse.
Exactly. In that fight, I was dealing with a lot of pride. There's a particular moment when John hit me, and I almost went down, but I leaned on the rope. The referee said. And I hit against the rope real fast, and I got up. And the referee was like, he counted as a stand-up knockdown and stand-up 8 count. And he was like, if the rope wasn't right there, you would have went down. I was like, yeah, but I didn't go down. And it's just like, yeah, it's okay. And again, I was being, prideful. I was, like, nah, man, this can't be happening. And then the second time, I didn't go down the whole fight. You go watch the fight, see, I didn't go down, but it didn't matter. It was times where, the referee did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
I thank him for that. Even when he stopped the fight, He's like, I'm sorry, Brandon. I tried to give you an opportunity. I know this your hometown. I know you wanted this. And I just told him, I was like, hey man, I thank you for stopping it. My family over there watching, and I just did like that because I didn't want to look back at them because I knew, what I'm saying, they was grieving. And at this particular moment, what I'm saying, adrenaline going, you drive, you can't cry.
Right.
So it was, it was a hell of a moment and a memory for me.
Oh man.
That's crazy. I mean, but these are the stories that young up and coming fighters need to hear, right? Because every fight is not going to be a hot prospect. Every fight is not going to be an Olympic hopeful. Some guys going to have to grind it out. And what people don't understand is the quote unquote the underdogs, the B side fighters, the journeymen, the undocumented guy that done had 30 fights but ain't none of them on his record. Those people have lives too. And you need all those people to keep the equal of this sport thriving. So they need to hear this kind of stuff because you're already up against enough as is. So they need to understand the business and how detrimental this can be, man. And for you, it only ended in a loss.
Yeah, that's it. And you got cases where some people, what I'm saying, was brain dead, and what I'm saying, it just changed their life, the rest of their life. So, like I said, man, I'm grateful. Me and John actually cool. Me and John, we tight. So, I'll be poking and messing with him, because when I was losing the weight, John saw. He saw him, his manager, the promotion. They seen me killing myself to make weight. They gave me the 2 hours to lose the extra 3.5 pounds when it was only at two. I barely just came in, and even then, I didn't make weight. I didn't make weight at the end. So had I won, I wouldn't have won all the other titles or whatever.
Right.
But I didn't care. I was just like, yo, man, all I need to do is get to this fight to win. So, like, even John seen me struggling. John saw me struggling, me putting myself upside down in the handstand for like a minute and a half or 2 minutes. So, some person had said what was going to happen was by the time I stood back up, the blood would be all in my head and it wouldn't be in my feet, which will make me lighter. It was crazy. I'm telling you,
What?
a lot of people, I'm saying, hey, at that particular moment, I was willing to try it. While I was upside down, I said to myself, man, this has got to be one of the stupidest things ever.
Yeah, champ. I think you was already suffering from a little dehydration at that
Right.
point, cause that's bad, bro.
Yeah, so definitely, that's all it was. So like looking back at it, I could laugh, man. But at that particular moment, man, them hours, I was hurting after the fight. You know what I'm saying? That time off, and what bothered me the most is right after that fight, me calling the promotion, asking them to put me back on, get me opportunities, and them not reaching back, or when they finally do, when I get in touch with them through somebody else, they like, oh yeah, man, well, as soon as something open up, we got you. Them doing that and saying that to me, I said to myself, like, damn, dude, the jacked up part about it is I can't even go and when people look me up, that's the last thing, the last thing is what have you done for me lately? My lately was a tragedy, you know what I'm saying? My lately was a loss. Uh, so I didn't go around parading, at me being, one of the top fighters or what I believed in myself as. I kept that stuff bottled in. I kept holding on to it till I got an opportunity instead of me being able to tell it, to show it. And that's the opportunity was on the contender.
Well, champ, I coming from a wrestling background, I used to see guys literally almost kill themselves to make weight. I mean, guys who were wrestling at 112 who should have been wrestling at 135. But
Mhm.
the roster was so deep, you got to get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
Um, and these would be from other teams. Our coach really didn't play that. Like he would send you to a doctor who would check you out midway if he thought you were hurting yourself cutting weight. But he was the rarity. He was the rarity. And I used to hear people, who would come back to these different clinics or come back to the tournaments and talk to us. And obviously, I was heavyweight, so I only had to come back a year because coming out of football, I was like 290, and I had to get down to 270 in 2 weeks. But that was the only real stress I had with cutting weight.
Man.
It was hard, but I had 2 weeks, not 2 days.
Yeah, it was crazy. 'Cause, like, I didn't go to sleep. I didn't get to go to sleep because I had to make weight.
Right.
So we tried to do it the best way we could. It was tough, but like I said, man, it's behind me. I know how not to ever, go to a fight. I know how to, be professional about it. And it's unfortunate what happened right before it. That wind up leading into it because uh, I remember when I went to a camp. One of my good friends, Sean Porter, when I went to this camp, uh, his conditioning coach was like, "Oh yeah,
Coach
man,
Larry Wade.
yeah." He was like, "Oh yeah, man, I know about you. I know how you lost your fight. You're not disciplined," and that struck a
Damn.
nerve. That
Yeah,
struck a nerve.
that was personal.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't say his name. I know him.
My bad, champ.
No, that's all good, bro. It's all love.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Just giving a
But
shout out to Jerry Hunt Jr. He said, "What's up, good brothers?" in the
what's going
chat,
on?
and just we really like to respond when we see.
Yeah, no, it's all love. Right? It's just appreciative. That's why I want to understand what's going on. I see it pop up. You know what I'm saying? But when that struck a nerve when he said that. He said a whole bunch of other stuff, but one thing that he said that because we didn't know each other at all, and he said that, and that had me like, yo, how you gonna sit up there and paint this portrait of me, and then try to go and sell that to people and tell
Mm,
people,
mm.
uh, you being older, what I'm saying, older black man, that's the first thing you gonna come at me. I'm saying? Instead of, I'm saying, with knowledge, I'm saying, with something I can really learn from. That's what you do. You're going to tear me down. All right, bro. So, there was always, a bit of a gap between us. Uh, and I just left it alone. I tried to be, cool and respectable about the situation. I let it go. But the narrative probably was that I was, not disciplined. But, in that same note, in that same breath, being undisciplined, and you go turn around and fight for a world title in boxing. Right, right. That happens.
Right, right.
Well, in a sport that, like you said, and the most important thing too, on a sport that builds its foundation. I mean, granted, all sports do, but no other sport as hard work as revered as you see it in football and boxing. So, for someone to call you lazy is probably the ultimate form of disrespect when it comes to that.
Yeah, it was to me. It was. I'm slowly forgiving him to this day. I'm saying it's just process. That's all.
We grow, we all still growing, champ. I get it.
I'm sorry. You got another question?
Yeah, I was gonna switch it up on him, man. We done talked about all this fighting, man. I'm still trying to figure out how Goku is his favorite character when his two sons are stronger. I don't understand how that works.
You know what, man? I ain't gonna even lie to you, dude. It's just the reason why I like Goku so much is because he was thrown at us. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand the fact that, what I'm saying, like, no matter what, no matter who character was built in a certain light, Goku, you know what I'm saying? It's just
So he was the gold standard.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. I like Yamcha a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I started a little clip when I was younger called the Wolfang Gang because he was Wolfang Fist. You know what I'm saying? So he was one of the coolest actually, man. But it's just the concept. As I got older, I started to recognize, like, people be like, man, Goku's dumb. All he thinks about is fighting, and his personality is like everything's about him. He's forgetful. He's everything that I found myself to be. But one thing that he focuses in on a lot is his fighting. Like, my thing is I want to fight all the top fighters because I legit feel and believe that I got a chance, and not just a puncher's chance against any of these people. I believe that when we get in the ring, I got the same opportunity they have to beat me. I have to beat them, and I felt like that's the wanting to challenge yourself, the wanting to push yourself to see what is actually your limit, to find out that's not your limit. That's dope, and that's kind of how I feel about myself. So that's why there's a reason why I kind of circle around liking Goku.
You
Right.
mentioned something earlier when you were talking about guidance and having to find your way on your own, and that kind of brings me to a story. I had a friend of mine. I was actually one of the best men at his wedding, and he got married. And the weird thing was, he got a call the day of his wedding saying that he had to. This is true about the call. He had to ship out of Orlando because he had just come out of basic training, a boot camp in the Navy. So
Hmm.
day of his wedding, he gets this phone call saying, "You're shipping out tomorrow out of Orlando." So the other best man was actually in the Navy with him, and they left. And it was kind of hard because you think about it, you just got married and they're sending you off. So, they went to the hotel that night. He had to leave about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to make sure he was over there
Hmm.
in time. And he got on board the ship. And I guess about a week or two goes by and he's really missing. Every night he's looking at the same picture of this woman and he's missing her. And he went up to his buddy and says, "Man, you've been in the Navy longer than me." He says, "But how do you make it?" He goes, "What do you mean?" He said, "How do you make it? How do you do this without your wife, without your girl? How do you do it?" He said, "Well, I'm gonna show you, and I'm gonna give you the advice that was given to me when I got in there." So he took him down below the engine room. That's how far down they went. Went into a room, and in the room it was dark with pendant light hanging from the ceiling, and there was a barrel in the middle of the room with a hole cut in it. And he said, "Well, when you feel frustrated, you just come and use this barrel." He said, "Disgusting. I can't do that. That's horrible." Well, man got to do what a man got to do. He said, "I ain't going to do that." So a couple of weeks pass, and he's looking at her picture, and he's thinking about that barrel. And finally, in the middle of the night, he gives in. He looks to see if anybody else in his area is awake. He don't see nobody. So he slides out his bunk, goes down to that room, goes in there and uses the barrel. Next morning, when they had formation on deck, he comes out like he's a 13-year-old, happy, dancing, skipping. His buddy's like, "Man, you all right?" He said, he gave him a hug and said, "Man, thank you for letting me know about the barrel. I'm going to use it every night." He said, "Well, not Thursday." He said, "Why not Thursday?" He said, "Because that's your night in the barrel."
What
But
you got to
bro, Tim, I was
exactly?
about to warn you. It's a joke coming, but I was like, you know what? He kind of snuck the intro in on me, so I couldn't warn you. I could tell it was coming
Yeah,
though.
that's why I was like, wait a second, man. That's why you kept putting your head down because you do this joke. You do this salty ass joke. Huh?
Bro, I'm telling you, man. I tried. I couldn't say nothing. So I wanted to warn you, but I
Yes,
couldn't say nothing.
he could have. That's stupid.
But
I'm
you
thinking
made
to
it.
myself too, man. Where you going with this, man?
What's happening right now?
There's gonna be a life lesson behind this, man. I'm just waiting.
It is a life lesson.
Don't go
Yeah,
to the military.
I mean it is though. It is. It's a life
Oh
lesson. We were
man.
prepared for it.
Oh man. But listen, champ, man, I want to thank you, man, for taking the time out to speak with us, brother. A very open and candid conversation, a conversation I hope picks up steam, especially for guys that look at you as inspiration and guys that may not know, but their career may start off like yours, more likely like yours than it was from these other guys that they see on TV. The hard work you put in, the professionals that you always display, man. Just representing where you're from, and look, you got a loving family with you, man. So it's just a pleasure and an honor to interview guys like you, man. I hope that you won't be a stranger to come back on the show, man.
Please
Most
come.
deaf, man. I appreciate you guys for having
But before you go, we want to know if you'll play a game with us called 5 Rounds, 1 Punch.
me. Sounds complicated. Let's do it.
I ask you a question or I'll say something, and I want just the first thing that comes to your mind.
All right,
All right, ready?
let's go.
Round one. Ann Wolf or Shane Mosley?
In a fight? In a
Yeah.
boxing match?
Yeah. All right.
Moses is gonna destroy her. So man,
Round two. Layla Ali or Clarissa Shields?
Here we go. I'm gonna get some hate after this one. That's gonna be a draw. Yeah, what you doing, baby?
There you go. He's slick. He slicked out of that one.
Yeah,
Okay. That's that defense. That's that defense. Okay.
All right. Round three. Donald Trump is president or Al Sharpton?
The king of fake news, man. You're fake news.
Oh man.
Damn, where do you even come up with that one, though?
I'm not asking the questions. I'm just listening. I'm listening like you.
Hey, cutie. Not
Damn,
you.
yeah. Yeah. Whatever.
She coming to check out the strangers. Who these strange men is?
I want to hear this one. This ought to be good.
Oh, he said fake news. He said give him fake news.
Yeah. Give me the fake news.
Okay. Give me the fake news. Wow. Okay. Kind of feel the same way. Round four. Your diet in your chosen sport.
My diet? What comes to mind when I think of a diet?
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna even lie, man. Just a protein shake.
Okay.
That's all that comes to mind, really.
Round five. Faith versus vision.
Faith versus vision. Dang. I ain't gonna lie, man. My whole career, I had faith without vision, so I'm gonna go with vision. I had faith that I was gonna be here. I had faith that I still got faith that I'm going to be the world champion. And I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it because I didn't think that I was as good as, other people was telling me I was at this particular time and all of this stuff, man. And I just kept faith that if I kept doing what I was doing, I kept training, kept working hard. You know what I'm saying? What Hulk Hogan say? I kept saying my prayers and eating my vitamins, waking up every morning, brother. And where I'm at now, I'm grateful. Faith.
Well, I gotta let you know, I appreciate it, man. And that Ann Wolf question, I changed it in the midst of asking the question.
I felt like you did, but who was it at first?
Actually, it was gonna be as a trainer, Ann Wolf against, and I wanted to say Robert Garcia.
You probably take Robert Garcia out. Robert's a good fighter. I heard Robert was a good amateur fighter and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
he was. He had a very good record. He was a good pro too.
Yeah.
Robert ain't no joke, man. He just,
Let's not get this twisted. Now, let me explain to you guys why I said Ann Wolf. If Robert's going, I'm saying, he could come up in there like, man, this is a girl. This is a girl. I'm not gonna do it. He gonna come and try to clean his cop. You know what I'm saying? No, this is a girl. He turned around and, I'm saying, Ann Wolf, she did the Ann Wolf. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm saying Ann Wolf is gonna win because he's a gentleman. You see how I just got out of that?
There you go. That was a pivot. You don't lie on the feet, champ. You lie on the feet.
Hey, I want to know what's jacked up though. If you go look back, I said Shea Mosley though, huh?
You did. It's okay. We're gonna let that slide. We ain't gonna repeat that like you never said it, see?
Yeah,
What got me was when you said Layla Ali and Clarissa Shields are gonna be a draw.
Oh yeah, I'm saying.
Hey man, them
They ain't coming for
LA
me.
boys, they slick talkers too, man. Don't get it twisted now. Move out them situations.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, champ. Well, listen, man. We ain't gonna hold you up no longer, brother. We appreciate you. Don't be a stranger to the show, man. Let everybody know where you at. And before you sign out, if you can give us a shout out real quick, we would definitely appreciate a drop.
All right, man. Let me know when. Right now, we good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to the Beatdown. I want to thank you, brothers, for having me. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned. We will be here again, Cannon Nation. You know what I'm saying? How you say it? Got Brew, the Badger. You know what I'm saying? The Badger MC, Cannon Adams. You know what I'm saying? We here, and we live.
And we
Appreciate that, champ. Appreciate that. All right, brother. Y'all stay blessed out there in California, man. Peace and blessings to your family, brother, and we'll get at you soon.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Blessings.
That was awesome, man. That was awesome. Shout out to Brandon Adams. That was an awesome interview.
Man, Brandon, I like that cat, man. His personality, his like I said, his professionalism, his decorum. I mean, you could tell he's a solid dude. Even when he was telling the stories about things he'd gone through, bro, like you could tell not only did he experience those things, not saying that he would be lying if he did, but it was a certain level of authenticity. Like you didn't think he was adding or embellishing anything to those stories.
Right.
And to see how he's built his career up, always being underdog, and look, he didn't win that Charlo fight, but guess what? Now he's on the map. Now, even if he has to go back and fight a bunch of the regional dudes, he can command high-end money because of the performance he gave against Charlo. And PBC may call him back. So I mean, you root for kids like that, man.
I got on his fan bank after that one, man. I'm serious. So, and he's got a lot more with him than just fighting. I mean, his headspace is way above a lot of people that we've talked to.
Yeah, most definitely. Like I said, man, I mean, he's still a relatively young man. I think he's 30 or 31 or something like that. But he's married. So just his whole lifestyle denotes a certain level of discipline and commitment. Like even when you talk about doing things he went through, he took that fight on short notice to help somebody else.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's just a different guy. But even the conversation about him and Charlo and the things they said to each other, in private. And I believe that because I think both of the Charlos are misunderstood to a degree. I think the younger Charlo probably gets off more on the emotions, but we've seen the bigger Charlo evolve.
Yeah.
Like at one point they were both a lot alike and they both like do a lot of that chatting and just kind of poking with people. Now it's like Jamal has kind of progressed or I guess ascended in a different direction, albeit while keeping his record intact and maintaining the belt. And Jamel is still kind of, I guess, on that emotional roller coaster, albeit winning his belt back. So I don't think it really affects how they fight. But it's just different to see them kind of just when they both started, they were so similar. Now they're just going two totally different directions as far as the projection of their personalities and their careers.
Well, family, hey, got to give a shout out to those veterans who passed on and gave it all, because this is Memorial Day. No matter how we feel about the military, no matter how we feel about how the government uses or misuses the military, these are real people making real sacrifice. So happy Memorial Day to those who are still here and to the loved ones of those who passed on. Hey, shout out always to my wife and my daughter and my mom. Anything you got left, sir? I think your mic is off.
It was. My thing hit on accident. But
He
like
was
I
a
said,
DJ. Go ahead.
if you don't know, now you know. Every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Fighter Show Report every Wednesday and Sunday at 7 p.m. We want to thank Brandon and Ken and Adams, everybody out there in the LA for holding it down for him and him for blessing us, man. And that's all I got, brother.
All right. Hey, we got something to take us out. So we'll see y'all tomorrow, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Peace.
This is God Brew for the Badger LMC. I just call him the Badger. I don't call him his whole professional name and stuff, but that's okay. We'll see y'all tomorrow.